Hello, everybody. Well, it's Wednesday evening. Just want to get on here real quick, give you a devotion, some updates, and some announcements. First off, want to remind everyone of the little live online revival starting Friday night. We're excited about this. God kind of laid this on my heart early this week. Really being pushed to be creative, and that's good for us, and we're excited that God's laid that on our heart, and we're excited and looking forward to what He's going to do through this. So be in much prayer for that. It's going to start Friday night, 7 p.m. It'll be live on Facebook. You'll be able to worship with us and comment as we worship. Brother Josh will be preaching Friday night. Me and Mom and Angie will be singing. Then Saturday night, Josh and Amy will be singing, and Brother Jerry Ball will be preaching. And then Sunday, do not forget that we'll have our drive-in service. Also excited about that. We do have rain in the forecast, but God has answered prayer once again on behalf of that. And a good friend of ours is going to let us use an FM transmitter. So you will be able to actually pull into the parking lot, keep your windows up, and tune to the station that we select and listen to us preach and sing. So excited about that. Looking forward to that. Just pray that God will move in a mighty way. And as soon as we figure out what station that is, and we still got to reach out to our good friend and talk to him, and he's going to help us with that. We will let you all know on Facebook. That way you won't have to be getting that station last minute. I think it's just a station that we choose. So if that's the case, we will let you know as soon as we find out. Also got an email today from Sister Angie Thompson. This is on behalf of our missionaries that we have in Panama. And I don't know if I'm going to say this guy's name right. It's Elizal and Tammy Soto. They're in Panama right now. They actually wrote to the churches, and we're one of their churches, letting us know what's going on in Panama. And I just want to read you their email. And you think we're in bad shape right now, and we're not. So here's the email from Tammy Soto. It says, everything is pretty much on 24-hour lockdown here. We are allowed a 2-hour time slot 3 times a week for men and 3 times a week for women, for grocery shopping, pharmacy, gas, banking, etc. It says, I love how Panama has taken such great measures to protect the people. If the people are caught not obeying the quarantine rules, they are detained and face the possibility of a $50,000 to $100,000 fine and possible jail time. Alcohol sales are prohibited in Panama at this time, and that is very good, and I agree with Tammy. We have been in quarantine as a family now for over 3 weeks. Only Eli leaves the house to go buy essential groceries when needed, which has only been 3 times. He wears protective gear when he goes, and we wash everything down once he is home. It sure is a process, but we are trying our best to not only protect our family, but to do our part in flattening this curve here. It breaks my heart to see the amount of deaths per day around the world caused by this ugly virus. He goes on to say, Eli and I will do our best to answer more of your emails as soon as we can. And she goes on to say, I would like to ask you to pray for my sister Amy and her co-worker. She is a radiographer in Garden City, Michigan. They are on the front lines of this pandemic as all these patients need chest x-rays. She is walking into work like it is a war zone. They also have a refrigerated truck parked behind their hospital to hold overflow of bodies. I can hardly fathom the thought. I was an x-ray tech for over 14 years before God called me into the missions to serve with Eli. If God wouldn't have made a change in my life years back, I would be right there on the front lines too. I am not sure how to feel about that. My sister's husband passed away just over a year ago, and she is a single mom with a 13 and 16-year-old children. Would you please help us pray for God's protection on her and her children? So so take them upon your heart this week and reach out on behalf of Elizal and Tammy Soto and uplift them in prayer. This is a dark time for a lot of people, and it's kind of what I want to talk about tonight. It is a dark time for a lot of people. There are a lot of people that are suffering and hurting, and our president ask that we would pray for those that have lost family, friends that's been affected greatly by this virus. Um, and it's sad to think about, and our prayers definitely got to those families. So hold them up in your prayers this week. Elizel and Tammy Soto, and there's so many. We all know people that work the front lines in the medical field, and definitely they need held up to God, that God will just protect them and encourage them. I know a lot of them are working a lot of hours, and that God will just strengthen and uphold them. And we know He will. He's faithful. And so the one verse I had on my mind this evening is Matthew 5:15 and 16. And this has nothing to do with Easter. We'll start our Easter services Friday night. So it says, "Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick. And it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." And we are in a time right now that the world needs to see Jesus. And I believe that now more than ever, the world is seeing Jesus in this country anyway. You know, Christ put His church in the world so that we might shine in the world, for the world. And sadly, I think we have fell over the last few decades into this repetition of only practicing and worshiping in the church house. I know it's not true for everybody, but it seems like as the church as a whole, we've gotten used to the safety of those walls that we call our church, and we've become acquainted with that and familiar and comfortable. And now we're in a situation to where we don't have that. That's not a safety net for us or a seat belt, and we're forced to continue to worship the Lord because we love Him. We want to uplift Him and uphold Him, especially now that we feel like that this thing's wrapping up and we could possibly be at the end of this, at the end of times, and we don't want to miss out on that. No one that believes in God wants to miss out. So we're kind of forced as church leaders and pastors and ministers to do things that we've never done. When I accepted the call to preach, I never thought I'd pastor. When I accepted the call to pastor, I never thought I'd be sitting in my office in front of my phone talking to it like I am right now. But we don't know, do we? Where God's going to call us and lead us to do. And He knows what we're capable of doing. And I thank Him for giving me the courage. And this has been hard for me. And a lot of people who know me probably wouldn't think it is because I can talk. But the hard part is being able to get over my pride a little bit. This takes you down a step. This is a humbling experience to sit and get over yourself. You have to get over yourself to do these things, and God's really helped me through this, and I've leaned on Him greatly to get through this, and I know we all have, and it's just not me. Everyone's got a part in this. Those that pray, the church. We love all of you, and we know that you're praying for me, and I'm praying for you that God will continue to bless your lives. And we're looking forward to this weekend as Josh and Brother Jerry get to experience a little bit of this uncomfortableness that I have to go through every week. But you get on Facebook, and never before in my life can I remember seeing so much church. You cannot scroll, and I know I've said this before, through Facebook very far, and you don't see a live service, someone that isn't a church leader. Maybe they're singers, and they're singing in their living room, recording themselves in their living room, singing and sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that is a great and encouraging thing to see. And I know that it's affecting a lot of people. And we may never know, Raritan Church, the people that have become saved due to what we're doing. We may never know that. And as God continues to work on this is something I don't think we change. I think this is a new normal for us, that we need to continue these methods because, we're to reach out to the world, as this verse says. We're to be a light to the world. And who in the world is seeing what's going on inside four walls? when those four walls are gone and we're exposed. And now we got to lean on God more than ever. And now we've got to make sure that we walk the walk. And we've got to get outside of that comfort zone. And it's been a challenge, but it's been a good challenge. And a lot of people have grown because of the challenge and answering the call and doing the things that God's laid on their heart. And I appreciate each and every one that does that. I got a lot of minister friends, and I see a lot of their services. And look, none of us are perfect. There's not one of us that are movie stars. Brother Jerry sent me a message this morning and said I was a televangelist now. And I told him I'll start begging for money, I reckon, if I'm a televangelist. We were just joking back and forth. But none of us are perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to make blunders. And it's fine. We would do that in church. So it's not going to hurt to do it on Facebook, right? Live. So just pray that God will continue to use this and bless people, and that people will become saved because of maybe something that someone said or a song that someone's sung. And I've seen a lot of great things, and I know probably most of y'all have seen some of the videos where people has actually set up PA systems outside their home in their driveway and are singing in subdivisions and communities. And it's amazing. It really is. And I know these are scary times for a lot of people and the uncertainty. And I know there's a lot of people that's affected by this, maybe economically, employment. God has blessed us. We've been able to work through this, and I thank Him for that daily. I know I'm very fortunate, and I thank Him for that. And I don't think that I'm better than anyone, but I'm very thankful that God's allowed that. But it is an encouraging thing to see families push back together, to see God become the center of homes again. It's a time that I remember as a child and thought was long gone. And I pray that this becomes a new normal. I was talking to my cousin, Zach Conkle. He's pastor at Union Free Will Baptist in Willersburg. And we was discussing back and forth and talking about how we believe that through this, a great revival is going to come. And it's just not going to come to the Raritan Church. It's going to come to a lot of churches. A lot of pastors you're either succeeding through this or you're going to fail. And if you're a pastor tonight and you hear this message, I pray that you push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. We preach about that a lot. We preach about people testifying and getting up and doing things for the Lord and getting out of their comfort zone. Well, sometimes that affects us too. Sometimes we've got to step out of our comfort zones, and I've done that through this. I know a lot of people have, and I appreciate each and every one. Singing, live streaming, and we're going to attempt live stream for the first time Friday night. So be in much prayer for that. But remember this week. This is Easter week. It's a beautiful week. It's the foundation of our faith. Without the death, crucifixion, burial, and resurrection of Christ, we would have nothing. We would have nothing to stand on. But because of that, we've got everything. We've got hope beyond the grave. And I thank Him tonight for that. I just pray that you remember what this week is. This is not about eggs and candy, but it's about Jesus. And we need to share that with as many as we can. And we have the best tool that money could ever buy, and that's this social media. And I've been a big opponent of social media for a long time until now. Now it's become the primary means of my ministry, and I'm trying to take full advantage of it, and I'm learning a lot. And some of it, I'm not going to lie, is very overwhelming. I get a lot of emails from the district. Are you doing this? Are you doing this? Have you tried this? Maybe you should try this. I have no idea. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of things I have no idea. There's this app called Zoom. I don't even know what it means. Don't even know I got it on my phone. I downloaded it, and that's about all as far as I got. And I was overwhelmed with it. So there's a lot of things that's out there that you just got to pray this old boy figure out, because I don't know if I can. But we got this, and we're going to use full advantage of it. And you can do the same. You can do the same. You can share. I've seen today, I've seen songs. I have seen messages. I have seen preachers stand in their living room and preach their heart out and just preach their guts plumb out for the Lord, pushing themselves out of their comfort zone. One thing I seen today that was the first I've seen, his brother Scott Osman gave a testimony on Facebook, videoed himself testifying. Now that's something. So I'm going to challenge some of y'all. You all get to sit back in the comfort of your living room and watch Pastor Jeremy get on here and mumble and stutter through a message or a devotion. I'm going to challenge some of you to video yourself giving your testimony for the Lord. You don't know who that could affect. If anything, I can maybe sit back and watch you for a change. But I'm going to challenge you all this week. And be in much prayer, as we said, for this revival. It's Friday night, 7 p.m. The flyer's on our page. Share that. Add your friends. Add your friends to the page. We'll approve them through. We're also still trying to look at websites and other means of social media. So as we try to filter through that and figure out the best options, pray that God will just help us with that. And also, Sunday will be our drive-in service, 11 a.m. That's also on that flyer. Songs, and I'll be preaching. And we'll have an FM transmitter, so you'll be able to listen to it from the comfort of your car with your window up if it is raining. And also, I would like to, we're going to take up 2 offerings that Sunday. We're using fishing nets. We'll be 6 feet away from your car, so we're going to be fishers of your money. So we'll be taking up your offering Sunday twice. We're going to take up for tithing the first time, and the second time will be for the missionaries. We'll have to do our missionary offering, so just keep that in the back of your mind as we get later into this week. So we got a lot to pray for, church. We pray for each other. You all know the usual prayer requests that we hear. The lost children of parents, the lost spouses. Hold all of them up in your prayer. I won't say their names. You all know them. And our elderly, hold them up. Continue to pray for Ernie and his family. I tried once again to get a hold of him and failed and left him another message. So if you all see him or talk to him, tell him I said hi and I love him. And I love all you. So a lot to pray for. Looking forward to this weekend. And remember, be a light. Even though the times are dark, your light can shine bright and point people to Christ. And I'd like to see some of you accept my challenge. Love you all. Looking forward to seeing you soon.